Tranquila.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah.
Sí.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast about leadership. Today, we will talk about some famous world leaders and what makes them great. My name is Heilyn Hernández and Juliet Peñaloza, and we're here with Mahatma Gandhi and Cleopatra. It's great to be with you all today. I am Aileen and I will speak as Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was an Indian leader and a global symbol of peace, non-violence, and social justice. He was born in 1869 and became one of the most important figures in the fight for India independence from British rule. Gandhi believed the real chance could be achieved through peaceful resistance, honesty, and moral strength. He led movements such as the Salt March, which showed the power of non-violent protest. Gandhi inspired millions of people to stand up against injustices without using violence. His leadership was based on humility, patience, and respect for all human beings. Today, Gandhi's ideas continue to influence leaders and social movements around the world, especially those who believe that space and dialogue are strong that conflict and hate.
Okay. And so this is the interview with Mahatma Gandhi. What inspired you to fight for India's independence?
I was experienced by the injustice and inequality that my people suffered under British rule. I believe that India deserves freedom, dignity, and the right to govern itself.
Okay. Why did you choose non-violence as your main leadership strategy?
I choose no violences because violence only creates more hatred and suffering. Peaceful resistance allows change without destroying humans' values.
What was the most difficult moment in your leadership journey?
The most difficult moments we're seeing my people suffer and win the freedom requires sacrifice, patience, and long-term commitment.
How did you stay strong during times of injustice and oppression?
I stay strong through faith, discipline, and the belief that through injustice will eventually prevail.
Okay, what qualities do you think a good leader must have?
A good leader must have humility, honesty, patience, courage, and respect for all humans beings.
How can young people create positive change in society today?
Young people can create change by staying up for injustices, educating themselves, listening to others, and acting peacefully.
What role did patience play in your leadership?
Parenting was essentially because real change does not happen. Quality is requires consistency and perseverance.
How did you handle criticisms and opposition from others?
I listened to criticisms calmly and responded with dialogue, self reflection, and no violent action.
Okay. Why do you think peace is more powerful than violence?
Peace transforms haters and means, while violence is only credits for and division.
Okay, and the last one is what message would you give to future generation of leaders?
Live with compassion, framing fightful to your values, and never forget that true strength comes from peace and service to others.
Okay. Now, I am Juliet and I will represent Cleopatra. Cleopatra, the last of Ptolemaic rulers of Egypt, was a complex figure who ruled approximately 51 to 13, born around 69. She was part of the Lagides dynasty that began its reign in Egypt after the death of Alexander the Great. Cleopatra distinguished herself with a remarkable intellect, receiving extensive education in various subjects and mastering multiple languages, including the indigenous Egyptian language, which set her apart from her predecessors. Her reign was characterized by significant challenges, including widespread poverty, a devalued currency, and growing tension with Rome, which had become a crucial supporter of Egypt.
Okay. In what year were you born? How was your father? And to which dynasty did you belong?
I was born in 69. My father was Ptolemy 12 Auletes, the pharaoh of Egypt, and I belonged to the Ptolemaic dynasty, which ruled Egypt after the death of Alexander the Great.
What is the meaning of your name?
My name, Cleopatra, means glory of the father. It was both a tribute to my lineage and a reminder of the legacy I was expected to uphold.
Okay. Where did you grow up?
I grew up primarily in Alexandria, the great capital of Egypt, a city of knowledge, culture, and power, where Greek and Egyptian worlds met.
What was your education like to become a great leader?
My education was rigorous and exceptional. I was trained in philosophy, rhetoric, politics, mathematics, astronomy, and medicine, as well as statecraft. I was educated to rule, not merely to inherit a crown.
How many languages do you speak? And how did this bring you closer to the Egyptians?
I speak several languages, but mostly importantly, I learned to speak the Egyptian language of my people. This allowed me to communicate with them directly without intermediaries and to understand their tradition, beliefs, and needs.
Okay. What is a typical day like for you?
A typical day for me is filled with governing the state, receiving envoys, making decisions on finance and military matters, honoring the gods, and studying reports from across the kingdom. Evenings are often devoted to strategy and reflection.
In what year did you assume the throne of Egypt?
I assumed the throne of Egypt in 51, ruling initially alongside my father's co-regent and later as sole ruler.
What did you do as a leader when you faced difficulty times?
When I faced difficult time as a leader, I relied on knowledge, strategy, and diplomacy. I listened to my people, made firm decisions, and formed alliances to protect Egypt's stability and independence. I understood that in moments of crisis, a leader must remain strong, adaptable, and focused on the greater good of the kingdom.
Okay. What did you feel when the throne was in your hands? And did you feel peace or a reconnection with the tradition of Egypt?
When the throne was finally in my hands, I felt no peace, but responsibility. I felt a profound reconnection with the ancient tradition of Egypt and a duty to protect my people and honor the gods legitimized my rule.
What would you say to the new generation of women leaders growing up in a world still dominated by men?
To the new generation of women leaders, I say this: power is not given, it is claimed through knowledge, courage, and vision. Do not allow the world to define your limits. Rule your life with wisdom and remember that strength and femininity are not opposite, but allies.
Okay, the discussion and reflection. Um, we'll pause as a ground talk about what you learn from these leaders and how their qualities connect to your own life. I think the myth of Cleopatra and her strategy for maintaining control of the her kingdom, even in difficult times, are an example of how women can become great leaders. They demonstrating that wisdom has no gender, and that when there is will, great things can be achieved from Mahatma Gandhi. We can say that the power of peace from surpass hatred and social division, and that an organized movement can achieve significant change in our environment and society.
One takeaway from this podcast is that it helped us understand that leadership is not about authority, but about values, patience, and respect for others. Through the example of Mahatma Gandhi, we learned that peaceful action and strong moral principles can inspire real change. His leadership demonstrates the importance of listening, empathy, and consistency when guiding others. In conclusion, the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi and Cleopatra teaches us that effective leaders use their strength wisely. Gandhi reminds us that peace, empathy, and integrity can create lasting change, while Cleopatra shows the April. While Cleopatra shows the importance of strategy, confidence, and diplomacy.
Together, their story inspiring us the develop leadership as skills task leaders, we can apply test listen to face challenge with determination, respect, and purpose.
Okay. Um, okay. This is okay. This is all. Thank you for your attention. This is the podcast of the great leadership, and we have contact with Cleopatra and Mahatma Gandhi. So thank you for your attention and for stay here.
Yeah.